Well, he's no stranger to the Sky cameras. I refer to Rupert McCall, who is enjoying his first trip to Darwin. How's it been?
Oh, Sads, it's a magic sort of atmosphere around the place, isn't it? I mean, I think this is what racing's about. It's like a picnic race day times by about 1,000,000. The weather, I mean, it's hot, probably too hot for a tie, but we'll have a few cold beers too.
Well, it's a lot warmer than it is down south, let me tell you.
Exactly, yeah. But it is good to be here. I came up on Saturday for the Gala Ball.
Which was terrific.
On a day that will be remembered for John Eales' magnificent kick in that Bledisloe Cup, and we'll remind the Kiwis about that one till the cows come home. But and the ball was quite memorable on Saturday night. I think somebody actually described it to me yesterday as a combination between a Gala Ball and Woodstock, which is pretty fair comment.
And Woodstock, more later in the night, wouldn't you say?
Well, it got very, very Woodstockish towards midnight.
Yeah. You performed at the ball. You captivated everyone there, as you normally do, with the Ode to the Darwin Cup. Would you perform it for us now?
I'll give it a crack,
Can I put
mate.
you on the spot?
Yeah, I wrote it on the plane on the way up here. So, and I'm a punter, so I'll back myself to remember it. Here we go. You've stood in stands at Flemington on Tuesdays in November, and Plate Day at the Valley was a magic to remember. In the company of 2-year-olds, you've taken in the slipper, and the Royal Randwick Epsom was a dead-set little ripper. You've chanced your arm at Eagle Farm when Stradbroke Day was pumping, and on Oaks Day down in Adelaide, the fillies had you jumping. You've even been to Elwick and that Ascot course in Perth. But in terms of equine atmosphere and greatest shows on earth, ask the punters at the party, ask the cream of turf historians, ask the owners and the trainers, and of course, the Territorians. Ask the drinkers wearing blinkers, ask the best of tipping sources, ask the jockeys and the bookies, even ask the bloody horses. And as if to cage the spirit of the heart where racing lies, they will tell you with this crazy kind of passion in their eyes that you have not galloped anywhere until you've saddled up to ride that mighty, mighty carnival, the Carlton Darwin Cup, and here we are.
And here we are, and I'm all stirred up, as you do to everyone.
Yeah, can I say a quick hello
sure.
to my two favourite girls in the world watching Sky Racing back home in Bris Vegas. Of course, my good wife, Katie, and my little baby girl who's 16 weeks old today, Ella Georgina. I know they're watching. They love the races too. I'll see you soon, girls.
Proudest dad in the world, eh?
Yeah.
Good on you, Rupert. There he is, the legendary Rupert McCall, and you'll see him regularly on Sky, and we're proud to have him too.
As you very well should be. Thank you, Graham. Thank you, Rupert. Great stuff. It does stir you up a bit, doesn't it? Get you involved in... I wasn't going to have a bet today, but I'm almost tempted to get onto the phone at that one. Righto, race number 3 at Darwin. Number 1, Past the Vass of $1.90. $5.70 for Jim Shout, 17 for Prince Dubai. Stella Vista at 10. Hokkaido's at $5.30. Mighty Attila at 10. 40 for Nothing Ventured. Then we've got 49 for Our Cash for race number 3 at Darwin. 13 away, selections. 1 Past the Vass, 6 Hokkaido, and 3 Jim Shout. Righto, Ragnar is Rodney Quinn now at Warwick Farm, race 7, number 4. Rod Quinn, that's the top weight and favourite of the next at Darwin.
Neil Payne, who's a regular here at Darwin over many, many years, is back again. He's got some terrific rides. Neil, it's great to see you back. How many years have you been coming up here?
This is my 5th year. I come up 4 in a row in the early 90s, and then this is my 5th year.
That's when I used to come up
here.
here.
Yeah, that's when you used to come. We used to get up here. Yeah, it was great, yeah.
Well, nothing's changed except it's got better.
It's got terrific. You know, the crowd, the atmosphere, it's really, really good.
Yeah, you've got some terrific rides. You've got a ride coming up in the next, the favourite Past the Vass, and it was impressive, I believe, and you're on it at its last couple of runs.
Yeah, I've won its last 2 on it, and it's been quite impressive. It'll be hard to beat in that race. You know, it's got a bit of class on its side. You know, even though it's carrying a bit of weight, you know, it should be hard to beat.
Right, let's talk about some of your other chances. You've got a ride on number 6, Dalviewy, in the 5th event.
Yeah, the 1900-metre race, yeah. He's an each-way chance. He'll be good odds, and I think he's a good place chance, that horse.
All right. What about the race number 6?
Race number 6. What am I riding that? She's Electric, is it?
She's Electric, I think.
Yeah, I don't know it. I drew it in the barrier draw yesterday in the invitation, so I'm just not really sure about that. Okay. Probably my next best ride would be in the Cup, Kaimessa.
Kaimessa. Tell us about Kaimessa.
He's done well. I won the Chief Minister's Cup on up here a couple of weeks ago, and he's done fine since, and I think he'll be right in the finish.
Okay, and I think there was another ride there we missed. I'm not too sure what it was.
Sea Royale.
Oh, Sea Royale, yeah.
Sea Royale, yeah. He goes good. He's a big horse. He's drawn out wide and hangs in, which is a bit of a problem, but, you know, he should be getting to the line good.
Okay.
So just everything's been good up here.
Yeah,
We've been having a great time.
Gee, it's good to see you back here.
It's terrific to be up here, and all the boys will be watching back in Sydney,
Yeah,
and
they
it's
will.
beautiful weather, lads, and bad luck is
They
not
don't
here.
know what they're missing,
They
do they?
do not know,
No.
not at all.
Good on you, Neil. Thank you.
Okay.
All the best with Pass the Bass and the race coming up.
Terrific.
And also Kai Messer in the Cup.
Thanks, mate.
There he is, Neil Payne. And a regular visitor, hasn't been here for a while, but he certainly knows Darwin track backwards.
Certainly does, Graham, thank you. And not only is Neil Payne a terrific rider and a great bloke, but he's a Rapido as well. So he's just got the whole three going for him. All right, race 1 at Ballarat, 43 for Eindhoven. Trapper Bass, the favourite at $2.20. Hokkaido is at $4.40, $6.30 Jim Shout. Stella Vista at $8.10. $8.10 for Mighty Attila. Prince Dubai at $17 for the third race at Fanny Bay. Past the Vass one's won its last couple at this track and an open class race. Neil Payne rode it on both of those occasions, and it'll be carrying the red with the white star, blue armbands and red cap. Hokkaido's a chance in the race, number 6. It ran third, beaten 2 lengths at Fanny Bay last start, beaten by Past the Vass, so it was beaten a couple of lengths by that horse. And Hokkaido, it is showing 53 kilos, and the top weight's at 58.5. So maybe the weights might be the telling factor in this race. Hokkaido meets the top weight, Past the Vass, some 5.5 kilos better. So it's the one that the punters have come for late as well. Jim Shout's at $6.30, and Jim Shout is the third elect, $8 Stella Vista. Race number 3, Darwin at Fanny Bay. The Optus Handicap, it's a Class 3 race over the 1,200 metres. Bit of prize money to share around too, $20,200. And apprentices, of course, cannot claim in this race, meaning that Past the Vass does have to carry that 58 kilos, or 58.5 in fact. All right, Darwin coming up. It's $1.50 now for the place for Past the Vass and $2.20 for the win. Mick Stumbles will join us now for race number 3 at Darwin. His correct weight is Semmer Ford at Hamilton.
In Darwin, Prince Dubai raced over that distance in Alice Springs in the Red Centre Classic. He ran quite a good race there. We're waiting for Nothing Venture, Our Cash, Hokkaido, Stella Vista, who is riderless, and also away is Past the Vass. Past the Vass, the favourite, looking for 3 on the trot. $2.10, $1.20. Hokkaido, number 6, $4.50, $1.50. And $6.30 and $1.80 for number 3, Jim Shout. Next best looks like number 7, which is Mighty Attila, at $8.80 and $1.90. Great finish to the Wolf Blast Lightning Plate, a 3-way go with Chalet's Magic prevailing over the heavily backed El Comba, and the winner's stablemate St Millie giving them a bit of a fright near home, but just failing to pick the other pair up. And the early betting on the TAB for the Cup, Dancing Apollo, surprisingly, is the favourite at this stage of betting, with about 14,000 in the pool. Hokkaido has moved in. Our Cash still away, so is Stella Vista and Nothing Venture, Prince Dubai and Past the Vass. There's about 3 or 4 to link in. Rider back in the saddle now on Stella Vista. Very pacey filly. She's about to get ready. Hopefully she goes in without any great problems today. She was a bit cantankerous last start. Now Past the Vass coming up. Stella Vista looks like she's ready, and Prince Dubai will complete the line. Optus Class 3. Prince Dubai in, ready to run. Past the Vass. A little in the red. He's the favourite. Light is on. Track cleared. The starter looks down the line, and shortly he'll release them. Does so now. Jim Shout and Stella Vista were a little bit slow to get going. Past the Vass out very quickly with Prince Dubai and Mighty Attila not far away. After being a little tardy, Jim Shout is now starting to show good speed to whip up towards the front. 2 lengths away, Nothing Venture, the outside of Hokkaido, a length and a half to Stella Marie, who's racing most ungenerously. Stella Vista, that is, and Our Cash on her outside is back at the tail of the field. 700 to go, Past the Vass, about a head in advance of Jim Shout. 2.5 lengths away, Prince Dubai, working into it smoothly. A length and a half further back came Nothing Venture, running a much better race today. Mighty Attila under pressure. 3 lengths, Hockadoo starting to pick them up. A long way back, Stella Vista and Our Cash last for home. On the bend and past the Vass, got away from Jim Shout, but Prince Dubai, he's coming into it powerfully the outside. So is Nothing Venture. About 3 lengths, Hockadoo into the clear, running on. Past the Vass in front as they get down towards the 200. Grabbed by Prince Dubai, then Nothing Venture. Hockadoo about 2 or 3 lengths away, past the Vap under the whip. Gives plenty, kicked away again, a length and a half. Prince Dubai can do no better than Nothing Venture. Hockadoo can't finish it off. Oh, he's a good colt. Past the Bass, finds plenty, wins a length, Prince Dubai. A length and a quarter away, third, Nothing Venture. 3 or 4 lengths, Mighty Attila. Then Hockadoo, Our Cash, Stella Vista, and last home, Jim Shout. Oh, he finds plenty under pressure, this fellow. Past the Bass, makes it 3 on the trot. Ridden by Neil Payne. Looked in danger at one point in the straight when Prince Dubai, who loomed into it, looked a real hope of being a serious threat at one point in the straight, but once Neil Payne has got to work, Past the Bass has raced on to win by about a length.
That is 3 interviews for Graham McNeese today and 3 winners. I'm going to start betting shortly, and I know what's going to happen. 1, 4 and 8. So well done, Neil Payne. He's a top little rider, isn't he? 2.10 and $1.30. 3.20 Prince Dubai, Nothing Venture at $7.40. Truscott Steel looks pretty hard to beat here at the trots at Ballarat in race number 1. It is the Toad. 1, 4 and 8 from Darwin. Race number 3, past the Vast, the winner, 2.10, 1.30. Prince Dubai, Nothing Venture. Trifecta paying $212. Now let's go to Warwick Farm, particularly Ansett Airlines, and Graham McNeese catches up with one of our great sponsors at Darwin.
Suzette Lamshed is the manager for Ansett Australia Northern Territory. She joins me now. Nice to catch up with you, Suzette.
Oh, it's great to be here. It's always a fabulous time of the year. Ansett's been a proud sponsor of the Cup Carnival for many years, and also the Ansett Invitation Plate, which we will be running later.
Yeah.
So we're fabulous to be involved, and it's a fabulous day as always. I think this is one of the best years, if not thus far. Great.
Ansett have brought some of the big names in racing to Darwin over the years, whether it be trainers and jockeys. This year, no exception. Bart Cummings, for example.
That's right. Bart flew up on Ansett Australia, and a lot of the other jockeys have flown on Ansett Australia. Ansett has a great association with
racing.
Yeah. They do indeed, and the sports in general, being the official carrier of the Sydney 2000 Olympics. We certainly like to be across our sports.
It's a big year, isn't it, for Ansett?
It is indeed. It is indeed. Absolutely. We're looking forward to a great day.
On behalf of everyone here at Darwin, Suzette, thank you for Ansett's wonderful ongoing support for the Darwin Cup Carnival.
We absolutely love being involved, and we look forward to a long association with the Darwin Turf Club and the racing fraternity in the Northern Territory.
And of course that wonderful Darwin Cup ball.
That's right, the ball was fantastic. Absolutely, the gala event of the year. Ansett Australia is the major sponsor to that. Absolutely gorgeous.
Okay. Very nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Suzette Lamshed, the manager of Northern Territory for Ansett Australia.
Ansett Australia, all right. Thank you very much, Suzette. All righty, and we've got some dividends to clear. Firstly, executive room at $66.40, $11.20. Jockey that Graham talks to today wins a race there, and here is Graham McNeese.
Right, thanks very much, Nick. Well, a long way from home is Michael Carl. He's one of Brisbane's premier jockeys for quite some time, and he's having his first riding stint here at Darwin. Welcome to Darwin, firstly, Michael.
Thank you, Graham.
You've had a ride in a couple of races. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a good even surface. A fair bit of dirt coming back in your face, but if you can be on a horse that can take up a position, it's not too bad.
Okay, now you've got some interesting rides. Of course, you haven't ridden up here before, so these horses you wouldn't have been aboard. Can you tell us anything about the ride you've got coming up in the next number 9, Tessin? What are the connections said there?
Yeah, they don't hold a great deal of hope for this horse. They said he's an off-season horse here.
Yeah.
They said he might be a bit outclassed in this, so they're hoping for the best with him.
Okay. You're riding one of Barbara's horses, Barbara Joseph's horses?
Yes.
In race number 5, Chartbuster.
Yeah, this horse might be a chance. It's 1,900 metres. He hasn't struck form here. Apparently he's been resenting the dirt coming back in his face.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and give him a bit of a clear run here today if I can, and hope for the best with him.
Righto, in race 6, I think is a horse by the name of
Colour Show.
Colour Show, that right?
Yeah.
Now, they've said something about this to you.
Yeah, they're fairly confident in the connections of this horse. He's drawn one. He should have a good hope. He's got a lot of speed, apparently, and they expect him to race close to the lead, which I think is an advantage here on this track, so he might go well.
OK. And you're on the old fella, Sir Rossi, in the Cup.
That's right, Graham. He started favourite in the Alice Springs Cup, and he was involved in a scrimmage and lost his rider.
Yeah.
But he's came here, had a couple of runs, ran second at his last start. Apparently he was doing his best work late. He's a seasoned campaigner by Marsgay, and yeah, he should be running on at the finish.
OK, so what do you think might be the best of all those?
Hopefully Sir Rossi.
Yeah.
The connections seem to be fairly confident about Colour Show. He's probably up in class a bit though, but I'll be just trying my best, hoping that we can kick home a winner.
Fanny Bay, but you're no stranger to Darwin.
No, I've been here quite a few times fishing, Darwin. My younger brother Matthew and I have been here on a number of occasions. So we do a fair bit of fishing, and there's no better place than here in the Territory.
Barramundi, hey?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Nice to catch up with you so far from home, Michael, as always, I might add.
Yeah, thanks, Graham.
OK, all the very best this afternoon, particularly with Sir Rossi, mate.
Thanks very much.
There he is, champion jockey. He really is, and a champion bloke too, Michael Carl.
Thanks, Graham. He's a wonderful rider, isn't he, Michael Carl? Not as far away from home as some of the people have come from Darwin that live in Melbourne, of course, some from Tassie, also a couple of New Zealanders there this afternoon as well. Sydneyites have made up that year.
Bay under the whip, then Candos from Balmoral Keep Classic Tour, Snedden into the clear, starting to run on well. Dreidel is out after Benalago as they draw down inside the 200-metre point. Benalago finding plenty. He's a half length in front of Dreidel. Glacier Bay can't get to them at the moment, but Benalago's going to lead all the way and win the Carlton Darwin Cup by 3/4 of a length to 3.
At Darwin. Now, race 4 there. It's Great Descent, $4.90. Hone in at $4.20. Magic Weasel at $7.20. Our festival times are scratching. Tessam at $9.80. Binoculars at $10. And $2.50 for King's Choice in race 4 at Darwin. All right, now we're going to take you back to Graham. And here he is now, in fact, packed there trackside at Darwin.
Nick, I have the Chief Executive of Optus, Chris Anderson, joining me now. It's been quite some time since I saw Chris. I actually came up in the plane with you.
Okay.
Nice to catch up with you, Chris.
Yeah, this carnival's important to us. We sponsored the race here last year, the Optus Handicap, and we sponsored it again this year. It's a great carnival, isn't it?
It certainly is. Did you have something on the winner?
At odds on, no.
No.
I'm like Ken Howard. I don't run upstairs or back odds on.
Famous saying, isn't it? You've been involved in racing yourself. You've had some good horses over the years.
Yeah, and in fact, I said to Neil Payne, who rode the winner, the last one here, that he actually rode Futuristic for us in the Hobartville a few years ago, that just came second to Phillip, ridden by Jimmy Cassidy.
That's right.
So we've been involved in racing for a long time.
And he's a good rider, isn't he? Young
He's a
man?
marvellous rider.
Underrated.
Yeah, underrated and doing a good job up here.
Yeah. This is his first time back for about 6 or 7 years, but he came up here for about 4 or 5 years straight. So it's great to see him back here on a winning vein too.
Yeah, it's good, and he rode well in that race there.
Yeah.
It's good to see.
Nothing like Darwin. It's so unique, isn't it?
It's a terrific carnival, and each year it's growing. And I agree with what Bart said yesterday, that track, a turf track, and those 3 months with the weather, they could really turn it into something. But it's a marvellous carnival.
Yeah, and it just gets bigger and bigger every year.
25,000 here, I'm told today.
Which is probably around about a third of the population.
Yeah, but although we've got more than 100 people working here, and Optus is growing through the Territory, and so the Northern Territory is important to Optus, as the rest of Australia is.
OK, nice to catch up with you, Chris. All the very best, mate. Thank you. There he is, Chris. Good on you, Chris. Chris Anderson, who's the Chief Executive of Optus Cable and Wireless Optus across Australia. As we take it back to you, Nick.
Graham, if they ran the Darwin Cup at Hamilton this afternoon, it'd be raining there. It is raining at Hamilton, as you can see by those pictures there. So you've got the right spot today. There's no question about that at all. Thanks for that. OK, now race 5, Jim's Dandy's the favourite's got to go through the wet here at Hamilton at $2.50. Let's take it to Adam.
I'm joined by one of the biggest names in racing here in Darwin, Stephen Brown. Now, this family goes back in racing quite some time. Nice to catch up with you again, Stephen.
How you going, Graham?
There's a lot of tradition. I'm very good, mate. There's a lot of tradition there, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. They've been involved in racing in Darwin for a lot of years, since it began, I think. So, yeah.
And you've got a dual licence still?
Got a dual licence.
You're a jockey?
Trainer and a jockey, but I'm sort of not riding at the moment. So.
Yeah. Now, you've got some terrific chances coming up today. You've got an interesting runner coming up, a former Sydney galloper by the name of Hone In. Now, hasn't raced for quite some time. What chance
He hasn't been here that long, Graham. We've only had him really a couple of weeks, but I think he'll go all right. I don't really know much about the horse. He probably should have had a barrier trial before he races, but I just got a feeling that he'll go all right. He's a natty little horse, so yeah.
Has he worked on the surface here?
Oh yeah, he goes good on the surface.
Yeah.
He's had a couple of hit outs and he goes good, yeah.
So you think he might run well first up?
Yeah, Dwayne Dunn's riding him, so he'll give him every chance, I'm sure.
Terrific rider.
Yeah, good rider.
You got an interesting chance in race 6 in the shape of CBD number 7 in the invitation.
Yeah, he's probably about our best, Graham. I think Darren Gauci drew him in the invitation, so I'm pretty pleased about that.
Yeah, lot going for you.
Yeah, he's a horse that gets back a bit, Graham. That's the only thing, but geez, he can get home hard. You know, so.
In race 7, the Schweppes Cup, you've got Russ Bouquet, second run back from a spell.
Yeah, she only ran about a fortnight ago. Horse that won the first race today beat her, I can't remember its name.
Bengal Flash.
Bengal Flash beat her the other day. And so, yeah, I expect her to go pretty good. You know, she'll be in the first 3 anyway.
All right, and in race 8, you've got Tordine.
Tordine, yeah. He ran second in the Toyota Cup the other day, which, you know, probably isn't much harder than this, you know, so this is not much harder than that, so I'd expect him to go all right too. So.
How many horses have you got in work?
We've got about 25 in work all the time, Graham, so yeah. When it gets pretty hot, you know, we try to send to Alice or give him a bit of time off, yeah.
And how's your brother Chris?
He's all right. He's not really involved in the racing anymore, but
good jockey though.
Yeah, he was.
When he was riding,
Yeah, he had a bad fall and hurt his neck, and he sort of hasn't got back into it since then. So
yeah. Well, it's lovely to catch up with you. You've got Hone in the race coming up. You give it a chance at reasonable odds.
Yeah, I reckon the next 4 horses have got a good chance. And we've got Mighty McCool in the Cup, Graham.
Mighty McCool in the Cup, of course. I admitted that. What about that?
Yeah, I think he'll go all right. He has probably had a bit of trouble with the 2000, but yeah, he'll be right there too.
Nice to catch up with you, Stephen.
No worries, Graham. Thanks
always,
a lot,
mate. There he is.
See ya.
One of Darwin's leading jockeys and also trainers, Stephen Brown. He's got Hone in the race coming up, and Mighty McCool engaged in the Carlton and United Darwin Cup.
Okay, thank you, Graham. He's got a few involved in this afternoon's race performance, hasn't he? And good luck to him too, Steve Brown. Thank you, Graham, for that. They are behind the gates for race 4. King's Choice at $2.20. And it is the tote favourite, $4 for Hone In. And that's the one we mentioned earlier on there for Dwayne Dunn. Great Descents at $6.30. $6.70 for Magic Weasel, Tessarm at $10, Binoculars $11. Behind the Binoculars will be Darren McCauley. Now, race 2 Ballarat, 56 Brilliant Mamwara, Jets Joe's at 30, 44 Downing, Break and Enter is at 43, but back to 6 now. We'll take a break and be back. Weasel at 5.60, Great Descent 7.30, lining up well for race 4 at Darwin.
King's Choice, a clear-cut elect, and the starters coming around to release the field. The red light has been turned on. They're set at the 1300 mark. Racing. Tessam off the inside, a little tardy, getting into stride, quickly away from the inside, Hone In. Gathering speed is the favourite, King's Choice, shortly after the start. No one anxious to lead. Binoculars 3 deep, and then on the outside, Great Descent 4 wide, trying to get in. In behind the Magic Weasel, and settling down last is Tessam. At the end of about 350, and Hone In on the inside leads King's Choice narrowly. A length away, Binoculars on the rails, being closely followed by Great Descent travelling 4th. Over on the inside, Magic Weasel, and 3 lengths away last. Under pressure, Tessam. Around the back corner they go by the 700 mark, and Hone In on the inside leads narrowly from the favourite King's Choice. Cornell biding his time as they approach the bend. A length and a half, Binoculars, who's hard at it on the inside of Great Descent. Magic Weasel, and tailed off a long last as they come to the bend. Tessam around the corner, Hone In just in front with his ears ridden off. Cornell sitting as quiet as a church mouse. Hasn't released the brakes on King's Choice. Now he says go, and the favourite quickly dashes to the lead at the 220 from Hone In. Over on the inside, Magic Weasel. Hone In not done with. King's Choice hard at it now. It's King's Choice the outside from Hone In. Magic Weasel's on the fence at the 100. King's Choice hard ridden. He's drawing away from Hone In. Magic Weasel. A double for Cornell, and down to the line gets the prize easily. King's Choice from Hone In. On the inside, Magic Weasel third, followed further back by Binoculars, Tessam, and Great Descent fell in a heap and has wound up at the tail of the field. Stand by for numbers after the running of race 4. Punters right on top here this afternoon. King's Choice back from 5 to 4 into 5 to 4 on. He was rated up by Ben Cornell outside of Hone In. the second elect. And when he gave King's Choice a dig, he moved clear, but no sooner had he done that, honed in kickback. It was only in the last 75 metres of the race that King's Choice really put his stamp on proceedings. And the gelding gives Pioneer Park Trainer Nev Connor and Ben Cornell the second leg of the double here this afternoon. They won earlier on today in the second race on the program with Chalet's Magic. So that's the double for Ben Cornell and Nev Connor.
Good win, wasn't it? That looked a pretty good thing on paper, King's Choice, and won by a length on the line. Race 2 at Ballarat, favourite here, Money Back, Oscar Levant, to be pretty hard to beat as well. Brilliant Manwarra is at $47, Jed's Joe's at 30, Downing at 46, Break and Enter at 39, 96 King Kia, Oscar Levant is at Money Back, as we mentioned, $2.20 and 170. Hone in at Even Money, Quinella 430, Traffic to $23.20. Correct weight now, you'd be pleased to know if you back the winner at Hamilton. A parrot there, I think it's a parrot, or is it, that's a galah, that's right. Okay, it's a galah. And what a nice galah. We are now going to head back to Graham McNeese, who is live trackside with one of my favourite jockeys of all time. I've known him for a long time, Robert Thompson, and he's Graham.
Robert Thompson's a long way from home, from the Hunter Valley. This is your first time in Darwin, I believe.
Yes, it is, Graham. Yeah, I've been here for about 10 days now and really enjoyed myself, Graham, and met a wonderful bunch of people up here.
You've been fishing at all?
I haven't had a chance, actually, to get out yet, Graham. Yeah. We've had a lot of functions to do and whatever, and one of the boats we were going to go out on one day broke down, so no, but maybe tomorrow.
And what do you think of the track here, this unique surface?
Yeah, it is very unique and all that, Graham. You just need the right horses to handle it properly and all that, and it's all right. But, yeah, it's not too bad.
You've got a runner in the next. You're aboard Chelliam. It's been very consistent. 1,900 metres, though.
Yeah, that's right, Graham. One here during the week last week, but that was only 1,300, so 1,900 is going to be a big query.
OK, and in the Cup, you've got a couple of other mounts as well, but you don't know much about them, obviously. But you're down to ride Fra Omega. Now, that's vastly travelled galloper. I think a couple of starts back at one at Mount Isa.
Yeah, that's right. He's trained at Mount Isa now, Graham. He's 10-year-old, but he's only had 50 starts. He never started racing until he was 6-year-old. He was trained in Brisbane then. Right. He's a great old horse, very tough. Unfortunately, I've drawn the visitors' draw, Graham. I've drawn the outside. I was a little bit disappointed getting that, but still in all, the horse is very fit. I've been riding him work all week, and he'll give me a good run for their money, I'm sure. He'll give me a good ride in the race, Graham.
Taking into consideration the alley, do you think you'll have to go back?
No, Graham, I'm going to have to go forward a bit, and hopefully I can maybe be midfielder somewhere and try and get in around this first turn and all that and have a good posse from there. Because he's a tough old guy, and he's never won at the distance either. That's just another little query, but he won well. It was a good gutsy win here last week, and he'll run good.
OK, that's good. Nice to catch up with you, even though it be in Darwin. It's a long way from home, but it's a wonderful climate, isn't it?
It sure is, Graham. It's a wonderful climate, and as I said, I've met a wonderful lot of people, and yeah, I wish I could take this weather back to Cessnock, and it's been a long day since What's Occurring, mate, hasn't it?
Yes, it certainly has. What's Occurring, for those who don't know, is a horse that I had interest in, which won at 25 to 1 about 3 days before Christmas about 15 years ago. Robert Thompson got it home by a nose. Never forget that. Thanks for that, mate.
That was a lovely day.
It was a lovely day, a lovely Christmas too. Welcome to Darwin.
Thanks a lot, Graham.
OK, there he is,
Thank
Robert
you,
Thompson from the Hunter Valley in New South Wales.
What's Occurring? Johnny Gray, by the way, had part ownership in that horse that just won a Warwick Farm Kurdu Fur there. And he's having a chat with Desi Hoisted, actually. We might just pick up a bit of this.
To challenge the 5...
It's been 3 years since the 1997 Darwin Cup winner went around. Tucker Box.
Pack has dropped out a long last into the home stretch, and Raft moved up on the outside of the Western Australian Shawnee's Path to hit the front. Then Stately Bright. Tucker Box is coming home well. Further back to Do Right. I don't think he can win. Down the outside, Tucker Box has hit the front from Raft. Then Stately Bright and Shawnee's Path, and Tucker Box is going to win the Coleman Darwin Cup. He's racing right away for Kevin Dodge, won by 4 lengths. Stately Bright, Raft.